Can you hear the
Very,
music?
very good.
Yeah, it's very faint. Yeah, only your voice is very audible.
Can you hear the
Only your
music?
voice is audible for the music.
Very,
The
very
music is at the
Yeah,
background. Yeah, it's
let's just
very,
stop.
very faint.
It's okay. Let's just stop.
But your voice is coming out very clear.
We don't need the music.
Yes,
We're good.
yes. Nah,
We don't need the music.
you're
We're
done with the
good.
music. All right, okay.
We're good. We can get
So
started
let's just proceed right ahead.
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need the music. We're good. Okay. So welcome everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever your geographical location is. Welcome to the Movement Radio. This is the alternative radio station where we are trying to change the narratives for the Africans, for the Nigerians, so that they can be able to have a country worthy, where they are worthy of being called citizens. And today we have a long list of activities lined up for us. And first of all, I announce to you that we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, we are live on TikTok, we are live on Instagram, we are live in almost all the social media. And those of you who are joining us, we thank you for joining us. And our primary mission, we have characterized the Nigerian problem into twofold. One, our collective silence, where at this point, with the state of the nation, for everyone to still be quiet, it's a crime. So we've seen the collective silence, and close to 98% of us are silent, although some of us don't even know we're silent. Our second problem is the enemies within. And our third problem are those that are actually ruining us. We believe that the most dangerous among us are the enemies within, and this, our program on the Movement Radio, is dedicated to focus on those people and ourselves, the collective silence and the enemies within. Because we believe when we break down those barriers, the ruiners of Nigeria will not be able to continue to ruin the country. So it is this that makes it very vital that we start this radio movement, whereby we are able to conscientize the mind of people, change their narrative, change their story, change the direction in which they think about themselves and the country. So today we have scheduled on our lineup an interview with our colleague, or with somebody who escaped the wrath of terrorists. He will be momentarily joining us, and once he's online, we will let you know. But before then, we have to run our regular program schedule. And today we have a long list of schedule. We have Abdullah Salisu, one of our correspondents, going to talk to us about this, the danger of terrorism, the impact of terrorism on our country so far. And then we will talk about what we need to ask of ourselves, an article by Zainab Suleiman, and also talk about how our nation is a gate with no fence. And also we will look into the politics of economic obedience by Farida Bemba Noberema, a very intelligent lady. And we want to look into the IMF versus Nigeria, the people's hardship, and the cost of conformity. And we will be ending it with what is done in our culture, and not all heroes speak the same language. So we have a long list of activities and things. But first, before I go on and tell you, I want those who are in the studio to kind of introduce themselves and let the people know they're here. Starting with you, Ibukun. Ibukun.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
I'm not trying to follow up here, but please, kindly off the music. The music is very loud from the studio.
Okay.
Inside the studio. Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, I'm Igbo
Sorry about that.
I'm indeed broadcasting from Lagos, Nigeria. And of course, we are about the reality of people. And we anticipate the participants of all parties involved because we are all stakeholders, both the media, stakeholders in these whole situations. So because we are stakeholders, we must take this matter very seriously. And taking it seriously means we will get feedback from the affected ones. Affected ones today join us hopefully and anticipate the arrival of our guests. That will indeed be very, very interesting to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen,
brace yourself up for a very great conversation. All right. Let's Salisu has not introduced himself. Ibrahim Salisu, go ahead. Abdullahi Salisu Aliyu, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening from this part of the world. I'm Abdullah Salisu from Abuja, and we look forward to hearing from all of you. And today is going to be an interesting ride. The ride has a lot of content, and the content belongs to all of us. We are all to share our view, and we are going to have an interesting first-hand information from one of the terrorist survivors. So I think all of us need to keep close to our mic and get ready to listen and make our contribution. Thank you, and you are all welcome.
Okay, so Salisu, I'm going to ask a question. Can you see the screen? Are you ready to get this started?
Yes, I'm ready.
But is the screen good enough?
I think I have it here with me, so I can read it from my side.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. 16 years of fire. What terrorism has actually cost Nigeria. In 2009, in a corner of Borno State, that most Nigerians outside the Northeast could not have located on a map. An insurgency began that will go to kill tens of thousands of Nigerians and displace more than 2 million people from the only home they had ever known. 16 years. 16 years is long enough for a child born the week Boko Haram launched its first uprising to have finished secondary school, if there had been a school left standing for that child to attend. In parts of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, there wasn't. Terrorism is too far often spoken in this country as a single distance war fought somewhere else, affecting someone else's family. The numbers say otherwise, and they are not from 10 years ago. They are from this year. In June alone, Nigeria recorded 792 deaths across 882 separate security incidents, spread across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Not just the Northeast, not just Boko Haram, but banditry in the Northwest, kidnapping on the highways, harder farmers' bloodshed in the North Central, and resurgence insurgency in Borno that security analysts said is once again choking of humanitarian access to hundreds of thousands displaced Nigeria. This year alone, 59 people were buried in Yelwata, Benue State, in a single attack, though residents they said the true toll was higher than what was officially reported. 52 people were buried across 6 villages in Bokos, Plateau State in April. In May, more than 100 villages were reportedly rounded up in a single raid in Borno State, and dozens unaccounted for. Every one of these numbers was still until the moment the village was attacked, someone's mother, someone's classmate, someone's Friday prayer partner, someone's Sunday choir member. A number should not be allowed to replace a name. The harder question is not only what terrorism has done to Nigeria, but what has allowed it to keep doing this for 16 unbroken years? The familiar answer points to ideology, a foreign contamination, an evil that arrives at the doorstep from outside. There is truth in that, but ideology alone does not recruit armies. It needs raw materials, and Nigeria has spent decades manufacturing exactly the raw material terrorism feeds on. Poverty that leaves a young man with nothing left to lose. Illiteracy that leaves a mind unequipped to question that is told. Unemployment that leaves idle hands in the region where the state has been functionally absent for generations. Injustice, communities watching their attackers work freely. Their trust in government eroding further with every unpunished raid. And beneath all of it, a governance failure that has too often arrived in this community only in the form of soldiers' checkpoint, never a functioning school or a working clinic. None of this excuse what these groups have done. Nothing excuses the deliberate slaughter of farming community or abduction of a child from her classroom. But a nation that allows 18 million of its children growing outside classroom and allows 63% of its people to live in poverty. It's not simply fighting terrorism, it is continuously restocking the condition terrorism feeds on. No military campaign alone can resolve a crisis whose deepest roots are economic and social. 16 years on. Uncomfortable truth in this is this. Nigeria has fought this war largely as a security problem and treated its economic and social costs as a separate or lower priority to be addressed later, if at all. Until the ordering is resolved, the country will keep counting its death in 100 each month and keep asking, 16 years too late, why the fire has not gone out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salisu. Um, I was thinking, is would Bukun be able to do a quick pidgin version for us, a quick rundown with the mind map, or for a very fast one, just for the people? We don't want to bore people. Oh,
No wahala. No, no, no
so
wahala. We go fit run am.
okay.
Yeah. And of course, our Ogbonge Nigerians need to indeed.
Can you see it, Ibukun?
Yeah, Afisiam.
Okay, go ahead.
Talking about 16 years of fire, terrorism, cost to Nigeria. That is, you get one thing where they happen for this country. We don't they deal with us for a long time, and we as a people, it be like fire for our body. All right, and of course, when fire be your body, you go want quench that fire by all means necessary. Now the thing will happen. Can you zoom that that
Yeah, you have to speed it up. Yeah. So scale up the problem.
Scale up the problem. Make you zoom am well so that I go fit see am.
Okay.
Because if I stay am well, now it go make me be analyze am well, so that our people go be know wetin dey happen, and I have to do it very, very fast.
Very fast, yes.
As they ought, as we anticipate the arrival of our Ogbonge guests, we escape from the hands of these Jaguda people. As we
Okay, how is it now? How is it now?
A little bit closer. Okay, maybe. Okay, I think you did okay like that. Move on to the right a little bit. Move on to the right.
Okay.
Okay, the insurgency is beginning, and of course, scale of the problem. How the thing takes start? We say thousands, tens of thousands of people have lost their life. People don't lose their life as a result of this whole situation, and millions have been displaced. All right, millions of people are, they don't run away, come up from where they live, and you have 16 years of conflict. That is, of course, we know what that one mean. We don't do for this matter for 16 years. All right, and it don't affect 36 states of the federation, because nowhere is indeed safe at this point in time. And the current impact of this from June, we have 797 people who don't buy, and of course we have
Use the
820.
word we don't die, because there will be no pie in the dictionary when history is written.
We try to avoid all of this because of all of these platforms. Maybe they don't go, they flag us because of the
that's imperialism, censorship.
Yeah, and the thing really happen with that. They try to silence our voice. They don't want to make we use some terminologies, and now why we have to indeed, paint this picture well for our people. And you have banditry in the northwest, all right? People where they carry gun up and down from northwest, where they deal with people, where they make people they run away for their life, kidnapping on the highway. They go there for the highway as they travel. They go come cross you. They say make you come down, carry you enter bush. You had farmer elders, bloodshed. They go enter farm, end the life of our farmers. All right. And of course, this is they happen every time for places like Borno. And of course, there is no need for us to hide the reality of this when it comes to our life as human beings and how we have to talk about it. The human cost of it. Yelwata, Benue, 59 people where they don't bury in one particular attack. We have Bokos, Plateau, 52 people where they don't bury in 6 villages. We have Borno raid, no more than 100 villagers, dozens unaccounted for. All right, you have Borno raid, more than and of course numbers represent individuals, not statistics. And I talk this thing as we start this particular broadcast. I talk and say these are human lives, and there's no way you can recover them back. These are lives of people. They are not just numbers. It goes beyond the numbers. I beg, make you help me move that slide up where make we continue back to our permanent nation. And you have root causes of the prolonged conflict and how these things take the start, waiting happen. All right, you have ideology, the frame of mind of our people, the thing where people they believe, now that they call ideology. And of course, it cuts across many things. You have foreign contamination and evil from outside, People from outside the country, they bring external ideologies where they extreme into our society. And you have raw materials for terrorism, all right? And you have poverty, that is, make people poor. As a result of poverty, you have young men with nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. So all of these sponsors of the Jaguda people, they recruit them well into their Jaguda organization. All right. You have illiteracy. That is, people no go school. People no know their left from their right, which is a big problem. They don't know what they're supposed to do. They don't go school to go know waiting, how to build themselves up and venture into other areas of life where they make money for them. They have seen this as an industry that they can cash out from. All right. And you have unemployment. Yes. Idle hands is the devil's workshop. If you don't get work, all of these things will happen and you will be victims of this old recruitment process. Right. You have injustice, attackers work free, eroding trust in government. You get cases where we say governments, they do program to make it easier for these Jaguda people to escape justice. They will go carry out some initiative and of course say they are rehabilitating these Jaguda people. And by the time they come back into the society, Bege will continue. All right. And of course, that one don't cause the distrust between the government and the people. So you have government failure, checkpoints, not school or clinic. Yes, we don't talk. Me and Beatrice, we don't talk this thing in the beginning of this broadcast. Say there's no excuse. The government has failed, and of course, we now have to deal with the degree of the failure. So yes, Nigerians' response, you have treating as as a security problem. Yes, we have to treat this thing as a security problem. You know, you have economic, social causes that is secondary, and you have continuous restocking condition for this jaguda where they happen for our country. All right. Then we will move partly to the uncomfortable truth. That is truth where you no one here. We say the military campaign no ratio, military campaign no day enough. Now the thing where they happen with that, and you have the deepest roots are economic and social. Waiting they happen, they say the wahala where they happen is very, very deep. All right. And we have to bring back prioritization. We have to indeed put our importance, waiting day important for our calendar, for our list. We have to put them right. Otherwise, the fire will not go out. Yes, we know all of these things no go stop. If we know treat this matter the way we're supposed to treat them. Now the thing where they encompass the article where Mr. Salitu read for us with that, and of course we don't try to break them down for our Obodo Nigerian people in the language.
We don't break article down. The question is, what's the question that comes out from that? What's our current state regarding this? If any of our speakers wants to contribute, or what other question you or Salisu might have regarding our terrorism state of the nation right now. In just few words, just short words, is the solution state police? Is the solution better government? Is the solution, I mean, what's next now that we've diagnosed the problem? What's the solution? Anybody?
Make Oga Salisu make it go first. Oga Salisu, say you did here.
Yes, I'm here.
Fire down.
Okay, to me, I think the solution is actual governance, because what is happening currently, most of what we are facing today, is what gives birth to all this problem is lack of good governance, proper governance, living on governance spaces, governance, not presence in all parts of the country. Because all these things started from the villages. And if you go to the villages, you see almost no presence of governance, no healthcare, no security outpost, no schools. You have to trek for more than 10 minutes before you see a school, and you have to walk. Maybe even if you are using a bike, a motorcycle to ride, you have to ride for almost 30 minutes before you go to a clinic. And then people cannot go to school, and then most of the people there are farmers, and they have no access to any means of information. So when you leave the people idle, and then you actually know that yes, definitely when anything that comes into their mind, they pick it up. And then injustice, which is as a result of lack of proper governance, that's bad governance. When someone commits something and there is no proper punishment to that person goes scot-free. So there is no how you are telling me that you are not encouraging the other person to also take law by in his hand or in her hand. So injustice, bad governance is all the reasons why these things are happening. So I think if we can have good governance in the system and ensure justice, because every time we keep hearing when I voted into power, I will allow rule of law to prevail, which is almost impossible, because the power that is accumulated in that office that person is occupying is almost impossible for that person to allow rule of law to continue. So justice must be served. Almost everybody is a victim. So good governance, making sure that the justice system functions effectively, a rule of law is fully effective in the society, and not allowing ungoverned spaces in the country. I think that, to me, that's the solution to this problem.
So basically, we have geography with no government. We have land with no governance. And we have government collecting taxes with no governance, taxation without representation. Okay, we're going to add that with the words of Nelson Mandela: as long as poverty injustice and gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. Ibukun or any of our speakers want to make a comment before we move on? Got like 3 minutes or so.
What I want to talk about this thing, they say, what thing they happen? So we don't talk about the roles that we say play to this, wahala where they happen. We don't pass almost over 10 years. We don't deal with this insecurity wahala. As Jaguda, people they threaten us for our localities, that they pursue us from our farm, that they pursue us for our villages. We they lose our brothers and sisters, and our mothers and fathers were slaughtered in cold blood. Now, because we self keep quiet too much, and we know, and part of what we used to say very well, we say, make we no keep quiet. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. No talk say because now you vote for the government of the day and they are doing what is wrong, you can't keep quiet. All right, time for you to say we no go agree. You have to stand up and speak up for yourself. Don't die in silence. Don't die in silence. All right. And of course, the word of this our Oga Martin Luther King, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And all the people who are supposed to be our friends now.
So in our country now, who are our friends that are keeping silence? Can you name them? People like pastors, judges, who are those that should be talking, that are not talking? Can we be specific so we can call them out?
Yes.
If any of our audience or speakers wants to do that, that would be nice. Who are those that are not saying anything about this problem? Is it because their hands are involved?
Let me pass the mic to Beatrice. Beatrice, who do you think should be the friends of the people? And they have been keeping quiet largely. They have indeed been observing, table manners.
Sorry, who do I think can be the what of? I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Who do you think should be the friends of? Who are the entities that should constitute the friends of the masses to amplify their appeal? And they have refused to amplify it. They have refused to make comments or organize towards, bringing an end to this ordeal that is happening to the people. Who do you think are the entities that should? Yeah.
Okay, I might be wrong, but also in our country, Nigeria, every politician has the potential to be a billionaire, but not every billionaire is necessarily a politician. So in this case study, I want to use geosettlers, we often see them on our just an example. There is example of people yes. If you let their voice, and not just their voice, let's be real, their money, yes, to the struggle of people. I mean, at least that I would give a good example of that people like people like this rapper, False, that guy, in as much as he not necessarily criticize himself, he just learn people through artistry, for example. I'll say artists, like big pool of people that especially them, because I think that they are not being affected by this. Yeah, I think artists should be they should use their art to awaken the consciousness of our people. Energize them, fortify them, motivate them. So that's my point. I was saying that people like John Settlers say, I don't my son, I don't have my child, that's what about my son is going to have a good race and this is a great sport and this much. You need to tell me, I think what you're doing. You don't know what to do. Like, it's not cross yeah, online. So you don't hear whispers from your friend.
You don't only walk if you don't hear that. You don't hear that. Friends, because I'm sure they have to have friends for every life.
like, obviously, from different backgrounds, different ages. Even white people that current consideration, if you tell me you get from them too, they just be sharing just your enjoyment, and just, apparently the enjoyment over your people. And you don't enjoy it, so you don't see it like aware. So I know that my but I would say that a demographic that let their voice and their people to us to listen, and the ones that the drop of a dime, if they want to, you can shatter a 5 to freaking Italy because of one pizza. So I hope I was able to explain.
Okay, thank you very much, Beatrice. I would have to add to what you have to say. I would say those that are our friends that are keeping quiet will be our elite, our educated people, our musicians, our actors, our pastors, our traditional leaders. Salisu, you want to add to that? Because if people, those that are keeping quiet in a time of need. Go ahead, Salisu. Anybody add to that?
Yes.
Any other speaker add to
Yes,
that before we move on?
If we can look at the statement very critically, say we cannot remember the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
That's right.
Here is just stating that it's not the action and what our enemies have done to us that will remain with us, but those people that keep coming to us every now and then, keep talking to us, encouraging us, talking to us. And if you look, these people who are their friends, the friends in real sense are those traditional leaders, the religious leaders, the politicians, the family elders that keep coming. Those are our people that keep shaping our opinion. The celebrities that we look in our society, that during election they will come and tell you that this person is this person is this, and these are the things happening. So those are the friends, because when they come, they talk to you in a very subtle words. But when you are in problem, they are not there. So a friend in deed is a friend in need. So those friends are those opinion leaders, those people that keep coming to us to tell us what to do and what not to do. So if they keep silence when we're in trouble at the period or like this in Nigeria, so then it means they are the ones that we should look up to. And then these are the people that will keep calling. We keep calling at them, and we keep telling them that, okay, you told us to do this and we have done it, and this is the mess it took us to. So I think we need to talk to them, we need to call on them, so that them too, they should come out and say the same thing we are saying. We need justice, we need security, we need peace, we need economic development, we need social security. People, the aged people, they are suffering, the young people are suffering, everybody is suffering. So 63% of Nigerians below, or let's say below poverty, is something that everybody should talk. And then most of them are silent. So those friends are silent now. So when we started doing something, they should not come out and say that, okay, we are doing something and we didn't listen to them.
Yes, you can have it.
So,
Your mic is muted, Mr. Alpha.
I think you mentioned about those people that
Yes, I
always
think
have
that's my opinion. Yeah, Ibokun, I think you can continue.
how to go about resolution or liberation. I wanted to ask that this kind of people, when they approach you and they're telling you all these things, it is important to ask them as part of the solution that they need. Are they part of the change? It's an important question to ask.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So is that the last on that one? Are we ready to move on? Or any other person want to add to that? We'll move on to our second article while we're still waiting for our interview. He said he will be joining us in a short. He's getting ready for us. So the next article we want to basically cover is from Farida Bembao Noberema, and I think I have a picture here. She's a Togolese scholar, and she's very good at what she does. And on this particular one, there she is on the screen. That's her picture. Farida Bemba Noberema, and she mostly writes in French, and we have it translated in English. She's from Togo, but she does write pretty good articles, and in this one we feel it's relevant. We bring this next one to our people, where she talks about the fact that we as a people, we do not believe we deserve dignity. We treat dignity as favors, then we wait in silence. This silent indifference, this ability to make every tragedy bearable through personal arrangements that guarantees that nothing ever change or will ever change in Nigeria. So I'm going to read that quickly, and Ibukun will do a very quick pidgin rundown of that for us after I'm done. It was in 2007, my mother had given me a rechargeable lamp. The second day of the baccalaureate exam, we were in the middle of the rainy season. In the middle of June, a time when Togolese sky was gray and electricity was unreliable. On the first day, the baccalaureate exam in the exam hall of Token High School, the sky was so gray I could barely see my notes. I had always had vision problems, but the student from private school could feel it. And I could tell you that no matter which private school you attended, if you passed a Togolese baccalaureate exam, you could end up taking exams under horrible conditions because the final exam was always held in a public center. You could buy a better classroom for your child for 9 months, but you couldn't buy them comfort for the exam that would decide their future. I had observed the same mechanics a few years earlier without having the words to describe it yet. Our public hospitals have been in ruins for decades, and everyone knows this. A Togolese person knows this and repeats it as a fact without thinking twice. 20 years ago, to see a doctor for a scheduled appointment at school, for a scheduled appointment at 7 o'clock, you have to show up as early as 4 in the morning. Those who could afford it went to private clinics, cleaner and less troublesome, but never excellent. I say we have the same problem in Nigeria. I remember comparing later a Togolese private clinic to a public hospital, and the comparison didn't hold. But as soon as a case worsened, the clinic would transfer the patient to the public hospital. I lost loved ones like that, are now stable in such a clinic, and then transferred them in an emergency to the university hospital due to lack of equipment or specialists. As a teenager, I had asked my father why serious cases were always referred to public hospital. He told me with this evidence of things that are never questioned, that this is where the oldest, best trained teachers are, those who go to when no one else knows what to do. These two memories, the lamp and the hospital, say the same thing in two different forms. We, as Africans, we can buy an individual exit from the state failure. We can send our children to a private school. We can go to a private clinic. We can buy better housing in a better neighborhood. But this exit has limits, and the limit is always the same. The national exam, the medical emergency, the moment when the country catches up with you, even fortune does not protect you against death. That's what happened to Joshua and his friends, the boxer Joshua. When infrastructure, even fortune does not protect against death when infrastructure is lacking. There are cases so fragile that no evacuation is possible. Money buys a delay, never a guarantee. In this observation made very early that has caused the most tense discussion with those close to us, I was told, your parent got you out of the country. You study abroad. You're getting involved. I was told also, you personally, you were not raped. Why are you getting involved? These phrases rest on the idea that one can buy comfort and live peacefully in a country where the state has abandoned its most basic function, ensuring the safety and well-being of its population. Yet, It is precisely this silence that accompanies this idea, the quiet indifference in which we drown in the face of injustice, which has always intrigued me more than the violence itself. What I have come to understand is that it is not only fair. What I have come to understand that it is not only fear that immobilizes us as a people.
I've been dating.
Ebokun, I can hear you. Okay. What I've come to understand that is it is not only fear that immobilizes us as a people. It is that we do not believe we deserve dignity. We do not think that the state owes it to us, nor they owe us security, nor our well-being. We treat them as favors, and when the favor does not come, we individually try to offer it through a private school, a private clinic, a visa, as in Japa. Then we wait in silence for the day things will change. But it is this very indifference, this ability to make every tragedy bearable through a personal arrangement that guarantees that nothing will ever change. Each individual palliative solution is a valve that prevents pressure from becoming a claim. What distinguishes us in the end is not our resignation, but our talent to make tragedies livable. A talent that, through practice, has ended up replacing our demand for justice. One day, we will have to stop composing at the light of a rechargeable light and demand a country that does not go out on the day of the exam. Farida Bemba Noberema, disappointed African citizen. I repeat that most important part of that article. We, as Nigerians or Togolese, can buy individual exit from a state failure. Can go to a private school, private clinic, but this exit has its limit, and the limit is always the same. We will still be caught up with the tragedy. Nigeria will still happen to us, whether we like it or not. Even fortune does not protect us against death when infrastructure is lacking. There are cases so fragile that no evacuation is possible. Money buys delay, never a guarantee. So we're going to do a mini version of that and see. Basically, this is telling us that we always improvise, and that is why nothing ever changed. They didn't give us electricity, we went and bought generators. They didn't give us water, we start digging boreholes. They didn't give us education, we start going to private school. You see, we always improvise for the failure of those in government. So that's our situation, and that's what this article is basically about. So I'm gonna highlight it for Ibukun to do his Obodo Ibo version. Please be very fast. We don't have all time. You can skip some things that are not relevant. Just go to the important part our people should know. You know. Ibukun, you ready?
Yes, I did ready, and I'm fast.
Yeah, I just cut it in half, so you can just start from silence and indifference. Am I doing it right like that, or is that wrong?
No, it's fine. So that
we can move on, yeah, because we got so much stuff to do. Yeah, go ahead.
So yes,
can you see it?
Yes, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, we are talking about state failure and individual palliative, and it's scattered for different areas. Where we can you please move the slide towards the left a little bit?
Okay. Yeah.
Silence and indifference of our people. You have the fact that our people are silent because they are afraid, but that silence is having the interest of the people or entities in charge of this suffering. Where would they suffer? All right. Quiet in the face of injustice. Nah, not be better thing because it go affect us. Making tragedy bearing that is to endure suffer. System they punish us, but we endure. and that thing no go guarantee us anything. Now more suffering na in that thing dey cause for us. And what are the root causes of all of this thing? You know, state has abandoned basic function because they know say we go keep quiet. So they go abandon wetin they suppose do. All of their responsibility, they go pack am one side because they know say people no go kuku talk. People no go talk. Lack of infrastructure, lack of equipment, lack of specialists. All of these things, they are the root causes, and of course, it is our keeping quiet will not solve all of these issues. It will most likely elevate it. It will most likely make it worse. So make we move up a little bit from the slide.
From the slide, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, make we go
Fast, yeah. Consequences, right?
Yeah, the consequences, tragedy becomes livable. That is, we go come dey adapt to all of the problems. You know, demand for justice replaced by talent. You know, instead of us to ask for justice, we go come dey, you know, we go say we go come turn to content created for our collective reality. Wey dey suppose be like that. So you have individual palliative, present collective claims. Right, you know, you can see all of these big men. Some content creators now, their content is say they will go look for person where they suffer. They will go, they give them something. They will go post them for their own social media platform. Others within that area, they say make their help come. And that one not to make them demand for something which supposed to be a collective benefit. They would expect say one kind individual to come rescue them. So call to action, we say make we stop composing with rechargeable lamps. You know? Yeah. Instead of us to call for the government to fix our electricity, we will look for escape. You know, there's a particular name where our Yoruba people they call rechargeable lamp, or there's this particular popular light equipment where they use small battery to power. They call them Ojuti Nepa. That is shame on Nepa. So we have to demand a functional country. All right, a functional country. Something with all of us have to do. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. I'm glad to announce that our guest is here. He's already on the space. And can you give him the mic? I asked him to request the mic. So we could.
I'm sending the mic away.
So we can start. Yeah. And before he tells us his story, we want to let you know that even the recent release of these children by the government, some of them have been coming out to say that, well, they were not rescued, but rather they were released, and they put out their stories to some people in the media. But as usual, the Nigerian media does not serve the interest of Nigerian people, which is why we're creating our own media and we're trying to bring you stories that matter. This is a young man that has experienced hardship, that was kidnapped, and ransom was paid on his behalf. He will tell you his own story himself, so we're not going to go in detail. But even from the release of the kids that were released, the story still didn't add up. You understand? The story did not add up. The Orire kidnap, we were released, not rescued. Truth is gradually coming out. This is the account from Mr. Zacchaeus Olatunde, but Mr. Zacchaeus is not the one we have today. We have another person who has experienced kidnapping from terrorists, whereby he talked about how they took them on May 15, 2026, all the deal they went through, how Mr. Yedokun was killed, how Mr. John Olaleye was also killed, and also terrorists, how he said they were devout Muslim. He just talked basically up to the point on what they ate and all that, and how they were released, which is totally different from the story the press gives us. And that is the tragedy of Nigeria. They don't give you water, you build borehole, no electricity, you buy generator. Now we don't even have press, so we are creating our own media. That's why we tell you we don't do news. We don't regurgitate what the oppressors have to give you. We don't do that. We go look for people affected by these bad policies and bad government and bring them to you so you hear from their mouth. NTA, LTV, Arise channel would not do that. You know, they will not tell the people's story. They will only tell you the oppressor's story, which is why we started this movement radio. So our guest is here. Mr. Ibukun will introduce him and then we would start. I think I have something on him, but let's Ibukun say something. Please give him a speaker so we can go from there. Ibukun, are you there?
Yes, I
Hello?
am here. I am here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, we are also very much on X. So I'm just trying to merge the both sides of the world together, both the studio and the X. So, yes, we have the pleasure of having a terrorist survivor, or survival, as the case may be, in our midst. I have passed the mic to the terrorist survivor, and we're glad to have you at Movement Radio. It is nice to have you. Thank you so very much. Well, we would like to meet you. How did you get yourself into the hands of perhaps what really happened? Really? And take us through the introductory part of it so that without further ado, we will not waste your time. The audience also are very much poised to listen to this. People want to hear the gist, and of course, we want to get to know the reality. Peter Pan for people, right? They are not really supposed to hear it. If not to express them for people, how the thing could start, waiting happen, on what day, and of course, if it's necessary to give other details, or if it's unnecessary, please feel free to conceal certain information. But we would like to hear what you went through in the hands of these terrorists, and of course, what lessons do you take Nigerians can learn from? So let's meet you, and of course, let's get to know your ordeal so far so good.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Movement Radio. Good evening. My name is Bola. A citizen, and a native of Kwara State. So, after my NYC in 2013, so I was fortunate to get a job at a farm, which is Governor's Farm, Ekiti State Governor's Farm, in Ekiti State, local governments, at a village called Okiaku, is in Ekiti State. So this didn't happen on 23rd October 2025. Is where I work as a farm manager at YSG Farm. So that was the day the kidnapping incident happened. So it was early in the morning. My Oga called me, which is YSG madam. She called me early in the morning that I should give her the report of because it was during harvesting period, because we planted maize and soybean at our farm. So it was harvesting period already. So we started our harvesting of maize. So she called me to give her a report of the previous work we done. So I was at my office writing reports. Then I've sent our tractor operator, which is Mr. Kazim, to continue where we stopped from the previous day. So they've left to work. Then I told him once he dropped the work at that, he should go back to the farm because he has other activities that he wants to do that day. So not quite long, it was around 10 o'clock or to 11 in the morning. So I called this man. I tried to reach out to him through his phone. His phone was not going through. I was like, what would have happened? Then there's no other person that I can reach out to because there's no network at deep inside the farm. So I took them, I proceeded into the farm to check on him. On getting there, on our way to our farm, When I went to our farm, I met our tractor in eruption. It has faced inside the bush already. I was like, what was this? What could have happened? I never thought of kidnapping or bandits or terrorists could ever get into the farm because we have various security forces in the farm. We have the RRS, our DECON, the anti-grazing squad, the local vigilantes. We have about 15 security personnel at our farm. So my mind is at rest that nothing happened at that farm. So on getting there, I met our tractor in the wrong direction. I was like, what could have happened? Then I dropped on bike. I dropped on my bike then. I was approaching the tractor. The next sound I heard was the finger of thumb from Fulani boys. The next thing they told me to stop. They cleared that bush for me already. They came out from the left hand side, from the right hand side. We take it on 7 on the hand. I was shocked because I wasn't expecting something like that. So I knelt down immediately. I did not argue with them or try to escape or something because they came out from both left and right. There's no way to go again, and they are with guns. So I just knelt down. They collected my purse bag, and inside my purse bag was my phone and 8,000 naira carry that I want to pay the workers that day.
Can I just interject you there a little bit? So sorry about that. So you are telling us that despite the presence of security personnel or security, outfits, you have mentioned Amotekun, you mentioned some other security, agents or institutions. These guys were still able to infiltrate the farm. That is the reality that we are dealing with right now.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, please proceed.
So they asked me that who am I? Out of fear, I said I'm the farm manager. They said that is very good. That is their money. They asked me now, sir, I said, Oga, Oga Apudi. They wanted one at me that I should tell them the truth or they waste me. So out of fear, I told them there's money, that I'm the manager, that there's no problem, that there's money. So they told me to stand up. And then they tied my two hands. At the process of tying my two hands, they brought out the tractor operator and 3 other people.
Wow, we have lost that space. Wow. And this is quite unfortunate. We'll have to quickly restart the space. I don't know what's going on, really. This shouldn't happen. And this is one of the...
Yeah, can you quickly reconnect us?
Yes, I'm trying to do that immediately.
It's normal when you are discussing sensitive issues like this.
Man, X can be very, very annoying. And it's not network, it's not internet, it's not... if it were to be my internet...
No, that's how they normally do. When you are discussing sensitive issues, you just see it.
Please kindly communicate with our guest.
Okay.
We are trying to restart another one.
Reconnect.
Send the link. Let me... Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'm starting another one immediately.
Okay.
Yes. X is very, very funny. And this is quite regrettable. So sorry about that.
It's part of the, what do you call it? Imperial control.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm waiting.
Another one, they have restarted another one.
Okay. Can you get the people back on?
Yes. People will join us. In fact, I'm already getting messages via DM.
Okay.
That what's going on, and I'm trying to explain to them.
Can you set it back up so we can get there?
Yes. I'm just trying to set the topic so that people can get to...
Okay. Yeah, he's back on.
I,
We
I
just
think
need
he's
to give
back.
him the speaker. Yeah.
All right. I think we haven't. Yeah. So sorry. The other space crashed. So sorry. So I think we have you back on right now. You were about explaining after you have been captured by these terrorists, as we have to call them by their real tag really. So please continue from that angle where you were ambushed by the
What about
kidnappers.
the other people that were on the space? Are they going to be able to rejoin?
Yes, they are able to. They'll be able to rejoin us. Yes, yes. I will
Okay.
send the
Don't you
link to
have to
them.
send? Don't you have to send the link to them?
Yes, yes. I'll have to send. I said I will send the link to them.
Okay.
They are already joining us. Yes, so yeah.
Okay. Do you
So
need to
sorry
share
about
the
that.
link with me? So do I need to share the link with anywhere so they can join
Yes,
back?
yes. I'll send the link to you immediately now. So yeah.
Okay.
Because we are indeed so sorry about the technical glitch. I hope you can hear me very well, our guests, because you are already at the speaker section. Okay, it says you can hear me loud and clear. So sorry about that. We are trying to reconnect and have every of our listeners join us again because X really messed up, and it's not the first time they are doing it. Well, but we just have to make do with their platform for now. That is why we are even streaming across multiple platforms. And obviously, across other platforms, we are not having any issues. We are basically streaming on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, with no glitches at all. But X is indeed notorious for glitches like this. But it is the easiest when it comes to you know trying to
To audio.
facilitate. Yes, when it comes to audio, so that's why we just have to make do with them. They are just like necessary evil at this point in time. So yes, we are back, and please, once again, we apologize for the glitches. So sorry. Um, of course, I'm sending the link to Esther, to Beatrice. I mean,
Beatrice, yes.
I have sent the link to Beatrice, and she has indeed indicated that what really happened. I think she has sent the link and she will join us as soon as possible. So yes, our guest, please proceed with your deal. You can start from the point where the kidnappers whisper to themselves. So that is, I think, that is the angle that you start from here.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, you are audible, very audible.
So they whisper to themselves, since they are cycling, I was shocked that what is this? These 7 guys have already made ambush for me. So they just came out, go left and right. So out of here, I told them I am the farm manager. So they said that's who's he asked me outside. I said, oh, that's how would you? When this guy said I'm blind and they are going to shoot you, I said, Oga, please, Oga, please, Joanna. He said, no. Then out of here, I told them, Oga, I'm going to stay my day. Then he said, no problem, that I should proceed. Then they tied my 2 hands. So at the process of tying my 2 hands, they brought out 3 other victims, apart from our operator, which is Mr. Kazim. So those victims have been kidnapped since on Monday, because the day that I was kidnapped was on Thursday. So they brought them into our farm. So they've been in our farm since on Monday/Tuesday. So they've been in our farm monitoring our movements with securities in our farms. I was shocked when we get to their base, when those guys, the other victims were telling me that they've been in our farms since Monday. So they've been monitoring our movement. So that was what made it easier for them to get us. I was shocked that God. So after that, they took the 5 of us the 3 other victims, then me and the operators, they tie our hands. So they caused my farm boots because our farm boots is customized. So they caused the farm boots. Then they told me to go wear footwear. One of them wear the half of the farm boot that they caused. So they told us to proceed inside the forest. So they told us not to make noise, not to shout or do anything. We make a think that they are going to kill us. So everybody cooperated. We proceeded into the forest, deep into the forest. So after the forest, we come across a big river. So along there, then they told us to sit down. When we get to the hill, they told us to sit down. Then they collected them. They told me to open my phone that they want to go through my phone. So as the terrorist boss is in the city, he told me to unlock my phone. Then I did. He was going through my WhatsApp. That was when he got to my boss. That one is the one. To contact her. Then he said, "Mama is one of the farm." So on getting there, he told me to call the woman. Then I had to call to that madam. This is what happened. I have been kidnapped in our farm. She said no problem. That she's going to send the police, and the phone was on loudspeaker. That she's going to send the police, the army, drone, and every other thing to come and rescue us. Immediately, the bandits boss said that it was like, "Not send police, not send anything. The money I need. So if you send any police or soldier, it's going to waste us." Then I hung up the call. Then call the woman back that all they need is money, that they don't want any form of armed forces. Then this woman asked them that how much they me for me and the tractor operator. The bandits boss said 100 million for me, then 50 million for the tractor operator. But the woman said no problem, that they should send their account number. The bandits said they don't receive transfer, that all they need is cash. Then this woman told him that she's going to gather the money in 2 or 3 days' time, that they should get patients with her to gather the cash. So that was how they ended the call. Then immediately they ended up the phone conversation. They told the 5 of us to proceed inside the forest. So that was how we began to trek and move. So that same day, as we were trekking inside the forest, we get to a farm again. So there were these tipping boats.
So yes, just before you proceed. So at this point in time, how many days have you spent, or how many hours have you spent in the forest? At this point in time, after you have called your guy.
That's the first day.
That is the first day. Okay. So meaning that they did not meet any resistance. It did not meet any resistance from the security team in the first day of operation. Okay. Yeah. Please. Just proceed.
My mom told me when I got back home that the army later came and some local vigilantes to go after the terrorists. But once my mom said when they came to the river, they were unable to cross the river, so they went back.
So the Nigerian army, and of course, the Nigerian army is supposed to be amphibious. What that means is that you have to be able to operate both on land and, of course, if there's need for them to go through the water, especially if the water body is within, the land area also. But the feedback that we have absorbed, but the feedback that you are giving us now is that based on your own lived experience, that was not the case. Yeah, please proceed.
So then we get to a farm, then we saw some simple boys. They were munching on that. They were making heaps of yam. They wanted to plant yam. So when they saw them, they scattered, but they were able to get 2 of those guys. So they kidnapped 2 of those city guys alongside with us, making 7. So we were 7 in number. So that was how we proceeded into the forest. So the second day. The second day, which is on Friday, continue walking. So when we get to a river, they told us to drink water. Then because the river again filled. Then the when we get to people's farm, maybe we saw maize or yam at people's farm, they tell us to harvest yam and the maize. So we pack it inside their sandbag then. At night, they will open fire then, roast the corn or yam for us to eat. So that was how we survived before we got to their place. Then on the third day, there is a lady among us that has been kidnapped since on Monday. So they released the lady. So we were left with 6 in number. The other 5 of them, because the terrorist guys were 7 in number. The terrorist guys, they were 7 in number. So they left 3 of the boys with us. Then 4 of them went. They released the lady. Then brought back 5 other people, 5 other victims back to us on the third day.
And during this time, you guys were moving. Were you guys moving sometimes on plain land, or or perhaps you were asked to move in a way such that the people from the sky, let's say any form of surveillance drone, cannot see you? Were you given specific instruction not to move towards plain area, or it was just they just moved? There was no instruction to move under the canopy of the trees or all of these things here?
Yeah, they give us instructions. So when we get to an open field, maybe there's a plain farm or open area, they told us to walk very fast. Then when we get to a footway, a pathway that there is foods people do pass. A pathway that people do pass. They told us to drop over it. Then walk on grass.
Okay, so definitely, yeah, I understand. Definitely, these guys also, they are aware that there can be possible surveillance on them. And of course, they are also trying to avoid any form of confrontation directly with the locals, or unless they really want to, invade those areas. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
All right, yeah, please proceed.
Those Fulani groups, we are well organized. Their mode of communication, the way they operate, everything, they are well organized. They are organized that the Nigerian army, I can even tell you that, I swear. They cooperate when they don't argue with each other, when they move, they move. So when they tell them they move. When they tell them to stop, they stop. So that was how they operate. So on the third day, they brought back 5 other victims, making 11 victims. So they told us to continue moving. Then one of those victims, when they were trying to kidnap them, gunshot went his leg. Unfortunately for him, his leg did not damage 100%, but he was in serious pain. He should not walk again. See, they were still pressuring him to walk very fast. Those guys are very brutal and very
That's very sad. But well, have there been any incidents so far so good at this point in time in the story that any of the terrorists or these bandits, any of them suffer any form of injury? But so far so good. Are you saying that they don't suffer casualty based on the feedback or the posture that you are getting from them? They were not throughout this time when they were bringing additional people into your camp. They do not have any complaint or you cannot see any visible confrontation that has led to any of them being injured or any form of casualty from their own side. So far so good. Wow. They just operate and they have been successful all the way, 100% success rate. So far so good. Wow. Okay, please proceed.
I will drop in. The only challenge they face with the Nigerian army is when the joint fighter do come, and that was after day 22 when I was transferred to another group.
After 22 days, that was the first fight of any form of surveillance patrol that you faced. Wow. Okay, please proceed.
When the joint fighter do come. So on the let me fast forward because it's a very long story. So on the 5th day, we finally got to their location. On getting there, we met a lot of them, a lot of terrorists. There were over 40 or 50 numbers with bikes, AK-47, different form of ammunitions. This what's it called? This long gun that do have a lot of.
Do you have any question, Mr. Abdullah? Any questions so far?
I think you can continue. I'll ask him later.
Okay.
So altogether, we saw a lot of them. I was scared that God, I'm dead. So on the 5th day, they gave us our phone then to call our family for the negotiation. That was how they started the negotiation. Then they told me to call my boss. Unfortunately for me, I could not reach my boss again. She blocked my contacts. Then the bandits also gave me their small phone to call. She did not pick up. Later on, another wasn't going on again. That was when I called my mom. That mom, I'm in big trouble. I have been kidnapped since so day. I have called my boss. Then I explained everything that happened.
And so, sorry. At that point in time, I want to interject because you said that this particular farm have some form of affiliation in terms of ownership with the state government. Is that true?
Yes.
So, and you are saying now that your boss just left the situation without even engaging them, because you know in this kind of situation you have to keep the line of communication very, very much open throughout the negotiation process, so that at least these bandits or these terrorists would indeed know. You have to keep their hope alive, and with the hope that that will keep or preserve the life of the people that they have indeed have in their custody. So you are telling us now that despite the fact that this particular farm that you are working for, of which you were kidnapped on duty, at some point in time, they abandoned negotiation, such that you are now at the mercy of reaching out to your mom, all right, for intervention. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please proceed.
So that was when I called my mom and explained everything to her. Then she reached out to them. So that was when they started the negotiation with each other. Then the terrorist boss told my mom to look for someone that understands Hausa very well, because they could not speak English fluently or Pidgin fluently, Yoruba. It was one of them, the second in command, Boroju, that understands Yoruba a bit. So sometimes when he's not around, he told the bandit boss to tell my mom to look for someone that understands Hausa very well. So they could keep the negotiation ongoing. So after the long run, let me just cut the long story short. So after the 8th day, they agreed on 15 million for me. Then for the tractor operator as well, they agreed on 15 million, making 30 million for the two of us. But unfortunately, the tractor operator, Mr. Kazim, was unable to reach out to his family. So luckily for him, I got his boss phone number, the man who brought him to YHT farm. So I requested for my phone from the bandit boss to get his Oga's phone number. Then I called the Oga, then explained to him that this is what happened, this is the situation on ground, and this is the amount they are asking of. So unfortunately for him, they don't say they are unable to get the money. That all they could raise is 3.5 million for him. So for my side, my mom was able to gather the money. She sold some of our properties. She borrowed money. Then some of our friends and family also raised money for us. So we were able to get the 15 million cash. Then they requested for other items as well, such as 200 phones, jean trouser, tops, slippers, food items like milk, Montina, 5 fingers of rice beans, and a lot more. So all the items she also brought was almost 600,000 naira as well, including the 50 million ransom. So after the 9th day, she brought the ransom to a town called Egbe in Kogi State with my younger brother. So
So there was indeed a location that they indeed collected this ransom alongside every other thing. And throughout this moment, it was a private arrangement. It was not in connivance with the authorities in any way from the side of from your mother, right?
Yes, it was personal negotiation with my mom. The police are even telling my mom not to pay ransom or do anything, that they are going to release me at the long run. My mom says she can't risk it.
So the police, they are making promises, and there is no any indication that they are indeed part of this whole negotiation process. They are just making promises that everything will be right without taking any form of action.
Yes, without any form of action.
Wow, that's interesting. Please proceed. And I like the fact that you are keeping the story very, very short and precise. Please continue.
Yes, sir. So after my mom brought the ransom and every other thing, my mom saw them face to face. Then for me, from them, that where is my son? They said that I can't walk, that they should come to a town called Obole in Kogi State tomorrow, that they are going to meet me there. They are going to bring me down with their bike. That my mom should not worry. So that was how they left. And my mom also left till the following day. Unfortunately for me, that was on the 10th day. So the following morning, which was the day I was meant to be late, Borojo, the second came to meet me, the manager, said that he go out to
But sorry, that there's a particular detail that I really want us to point to. Your mom, they gave your mom a location that she just dropped the ransom and the items, or she handed it over to someone. Was it that she just dropped it somewhere? Wow. She handed she saw them face to face. This Bororojo in question. Wow.
I don't have wahala. Now tomorrow morning you are going to see your son. That no problem. They communicated face to face. They saw my mom face to face. My mom saw them. They were not unmarked. They opened their eyes. The only thing they saw was just their gun, and they didn't threaten anyone.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, please proceed. Proceed with your story.
So the following morning, Borojo came to meet me, the second in command, and told me that, manager, you will go out today. I was very happy, and everyone was also congratulating me that, thank God, you are finally going in. Not until they are also woke up today. Then he came to me, the manager, your money is not complete. Say my money remain 50 million, 5 million. 50 million, 5 million now. But then she had 50 million when they carry from yesterday, not completely. I believe I think so you right, not complete. They said no, that it should be about 50 million that I have paid. That we should look for another 85 million. Then he gave me a small phone to call my mom. My mom said, yes, this is the point. This is going to end. Then where are we going to get 85 million from? We are trying to reach out to her. She's not picking up. We try to go to government office, everything, no way. We try to reach radio station, maybe people can help us out to escalate the matter. That was during this period. What's the name of this report? The report took up my story now. That the farm manager is still being, despite paying 50 million ransom. So the report posted my story there.
So at this point in time, the states have abandoned you to your fate. They have just basically they have absorbed themselves from this whole situation.
Yes, exactly, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
So that was how we were left with everything. We kept back to this ransom from the 5 million. They told us to sell our properties, to sell every other thing. Then we were all around that. We have money, that we are pretending as if we don't have money. That we are the owner of the farm, we know each other, and also the nonsense. I was down. I cried, I begged them. Anytime I'm begging them, they began to beat me, torture me. as if I stole from them. I said, God. So if this is the way I'm going to end my life, no problem. So I was there, they keep torturing me and every other victims. So fast forward to Mr. Kazim. On the 10th day, the boy is boss again. The boss said they were able to raise 3.5 million out of the 15 million also they requested for. So the bandit boss, he said there's nothing he's going to use the 3.5 million for. That the money is less than 5 million, 10 million. That the money should remove couple. They are going to waste him. That was where the problem started. Then the boss said one thing. Mr. Kazim, the track operator, was said one thing that day that I can never forget. In Yoruba, he said he controlled shape for the shape that anything that they want to do for him, that they should do. That is the amount of together. Immediately, this bandit boss head and city, he shot this man immediately. Shot him in the stomach. My heart nearly caused. I was in fear. I was urinating on my body. Could have blood and dead. It doesn't let me shot him again in his chest. That was how he unliked Mr. Kazim. After he unliked him, he's not yet dead totally. He told me and the other two guys that they kidnapped the same day alongside with me. He told the two of us to pick up his corpse. Then he followed us with his AK-47. Then oh God. Then he told us to dispose his dead body to the nearest bush. Then when we get to a certain place, he told us to drop his body. Then we should return back to where we are. That was how we dropped his body. Then went back to where we are.
So in essence, these guys are not they are not joking. So sorry about that, because we know that stories like this. So sorry. We understand that this story like this is a little bit very sensitive, and we indeed understand what you are going through, because it's just we are trying to bring back traumatic experience that you have gone through. So I understand the breaking down. So sorry about that. Of course, we are almost through to the end of the ordeal. So what we have succeeded in telling us now is that these guys are not jokers. They are very serious, and of course, they are very well equipped in terms of their what they are holding is not toy. It is real ammunition, and they are very ruthless to end the lives of anyone who they deem fit not to be cooperative with them. And to a large extent, the fact that your family has kept communicating with them has indeed helped save your life to some extent. But they just want to extort more from your family because they believe that so far that they have brought this much of money, they can actually cough out more money. That is just the whole idea. And of course, during this whole process, at this point in time in the story, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, they have withdrawn from the case. They have not supported the family and your mother during the course of this negotiation process, which is very, very important, which has essentially cost the life of Mr. Kazim, essentially.
Mr. Kazim was even saying something that at least he was trying to, he told my mom when I was talking to my mom that at least if the company would borrow us the money, that one would get out every year that we're going to work till we pay all the debts that we should. But unfortunately, my mom also was unable to reach out to this woman. So that was how his own story ended.
So the company blocked channels of communication. Is that what you are saying? To indeed intercede for Mr. Kazim. That was quite very ruthless. But well, let's proceed. So after Mr. Kazim's unaliving, so proceed with the story.
So he told us to trek from that location where Mr. Kazim was unalived. Then we trekked deep into the forest. We trekked for hours. We trekked for hours. Then after that, we get to a certain place. So it was under a tree. It was deep inside the forest. So there's a lot of tree cover there. So they gave us cutlass to clear the grasses there. They they told us to stand down. That was how they continued the torturing and the negotiation. So let me fast forward the mode of feeding. The mode of feeding, we were given rice alone, no salt, no pepper, nothing. And we were fed with river water, 1 liter per day. The remaining 10 victims. So we were fed with just rice alone, white rice, cooked rice. So that was what we were fixed now since we get to their place. And 1 liter of water per day. So
how about their own feeding? What kind of food, to the best of your knowledge, were you guys eating the same food, or it was a different feeding arrangement for them, a different feeding arrangement for you?
Okay, it was a different feeding arrangement. The way they cook their own food is different from the way they cook ours. So they cook their own food at first. They do cook it well cooked food, or sometimes they do went to town. Two of them do went to town sometimes to get food items. They'll drop their guns. They use their bike to go inside the town to get.
So what you are saying is that at some point in time they used to interact with the members of the society and get food supplies from the members of the society. Okay.
They change their clothes, most especially on weekend basis.
Okay.
Fast forward to day 22. The other victims has been released. I was left alone because it gave me countdown of 5 days. I think that was day 18 or day 17. It gave me countdown of 5 days. That because my mom was hospitalized during this process out of fear. She had high blood pressure then. So she was hospitalized due to the prayer from the terrorists. So they were unable to reach out to my mom. So they think we were lying to them or pretending that my mom is sick. Then I called my mom. My mom wasn't going through. But fortunately for me, I was unable to reach out to my younger brother. So it was my younger brother that kept negotiating with them and begging them that this is the situation we have now. I don't see because we don't have money and every other thing. So that was how it came out. If he did not hear from my mom after the 15, he's going to unalive me. I said, God, take me. But something miraculous happened on the 22nd day. On the 22nd day that he said he's going to kill me. He told one of his boys, Rojo, and one other guy, he's called Abdullah. He told the two of them to take me to another location that very night. He told them to take me to another location. So that was the last day I saw the group that kidnapped me. So I was transferred to another group entirely.
So this whole transfer was done just by foot or by a motorcycle. What was the mode of transport? So wow. So it was on bike, and they knew how to navigate the forest towards the next destination. And of course, the motorcycles. Wow. Okay.
I thought we were going to miss road or get lost at some point, but Manga, they know every direction, every movement, everything was just perfect. So when we get over to the known terrorist group, when I get there, I saw another 7 group. The one generator was there with green and red lights. That was the group they were using. So they handed me over. Then they took me to where their victims are being placed on a hill. So on getting there, they handed me over to the area boy there that was sleeping with the victims. So when I get there, they were on chain and handcuffs. I said, God, this is a different world entirely. So they flogged me when I get there first. They flogged me. The area boy flogged me then, chained me down to with the other 3 victims, with the other 2 victims that I missed, they were 2 men, one Hausa boy and one Yoruba that I made there. So they used anger for me. That was the first time in my life that I cases of handcuff. It was from terrorists. So they handcuffed me and they chained my leg alongside the leg. So till the next day, they transferred me. So it was early in the morning. So they woke us up. I was unable to sleep at first. I could not sleep, to be honest. I can't sleep in that time of in that condition. So they told us to stand up. That's it. So they called us.
Mr. Laba, would you like to ask any question? Please unmute your mic if you want to ask any question.
No, I think we should just let his story flow, and because it's a very emotional story for him.
Okay.
Is he still he's still talking, right?
Yes. I've muted the mic from X, so it's only studio that is what I'm listening to.
Okay, yeah, let him keep talking. I don't have questions, just articles to go over and all that. And the audience might have questions, what they want to add. You need to ask them about that.
All right. Just leave it that way. Yeah.
By God's grace, this is so this that was when the Nigerian surveillance group came, the jet fighter. It took in the afternoon, most especially in the afternoon, around 12 to 2. So the jets do come to just spray inside the bush. It has a certain location the jets do spray. So it just spray. Sound of the jets could kill someone, honestly speaking. If you just shoot inside the forest.
So what you are saying is that these jet fighters or these drones, but can we really call it drones? Because usually our own definition of drones, that indeed can just be called a jet fighter, because drones should act. There's something that is called stealth. Stealth means that they should act without being noticed. One of the qualities of a good drone is that it should go unnoticed and yet take all of the data response that it needs to take. But this particular one you're talking about is not having that element of surprise. All right, it's just like it's already telling itself that I'm here. And of course at the same time, it's not even do you have any indication that this particular fighter jet, can they see you, or they are just shooting sporadically?
They are just shooting sporadically, sir. They could not keep us. Because when the jets were looking, the terrorists do say, giddy, don't come. So they will run away. They will run inside the bush. They will go and hide. They will give us in the where we are, because we could not run away. We were already on a machine and handcuff. So they will just run away till the jets operates. So once the jet is done operating and the jet leaves, so they come back again. So it just shoot radically.
So they are also aware that it is quite dangerous, and of course they know that this old jet situation will pass as time goes on. So they just have a way of abandoning you, seeking safety. Then just after the jet have done its thing, they will return back to you guys. That is usually the situation that you're trying to explain. Okay. I'm just trying to paint it to our audience, because we have quite a number of audience, and of course that this should be another opportunity to announce that please, if you have any question for our guest, he has little time, because we just have to stretch his time beyond limits really. But if you have any question or you'd like to, please, I'm just trying to announce to the audience. We have quite a number of audience here. Swaz, please pick up the mic. I sent you the mic. If you have any question to ask this our gentleman who has been a victim and a survivor of terrorism in Nigeria, and is sharing a first-hand experience that he has had with the bandits, as people usually call them, but in essence, they are terrorists really. So yes, back to your story. So this old fighter jet situation. Usually, how many times did you have this encounter throughout your experience? Is it just once that this old fighter jet scenario?
Since I was transferred to the new group, I do experience it 3 or 4 times in a week, mostly in the afternoon. That is when the things do come. Sometimes it won't make it won't fix at times. It's just patrol, then leave. So that was how the expectation was concerned.
Okay. Kindly proceed. Abeyo, we have a speaker. Abeyo, do you have any question as far as the story is concerned so far so good? Yeah, please proceed. Yes, you're audible.
Anyway, go to the God continue keeping everyone. The question is that I took that or you are speaking from the box or something like that.
Obviously, Abeyo, you just joined us, so he has already explained this part already. So we don't want him to go back. He was indeed kidnapped during duty. He was working. He was a manager of a farm owned by a state. Kidnapped while at duty, essentially, alongside his fellow worker. That during the course of the story, these bandits or terrorists, as we would like to call them, they indeed shot dead this particular co-worker because he could not meet up with the ransom needs, or the ransom. So he was not kidnapped during on transit via highway. He was kidnapped in a farm that is managing. He is a manager of that farm. I think that has clarified your question.
In a short form, that's all I'm surrounded by.
And mind you, he also said that at this point in time, there were security outfits, about 3, including Amotekun, that has been assigned to keep this, farmland that was owned by the government, that is owned by the government. Also, their job is to keep this farmland safe. Yet, these insurgents were able to penetrate and kidnap himself and other co-workers. That is the situation. Any other question? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so very much. Let's continue. Our guest, you are already giving us a feedback with respect to what they call surveillance, because indeed that was not surveillance. We can call that a military operation that is not even taking advantage of element of surprise, because any tactical unit that you have to have in this kind of scenario should indeed possess the element of surprise. But based on your feedback now, there was no such thing as element of surprise. They were just operating randomly. It was not a precision. It was not a precision operation. And of course, in cases like this, you've got to increase the level of your accuracy to the finest margin. You've got to have, you've got to know the exact point the abductors are, or people that have been abducted. You have to pinpoint their location, and of course, mobilize ground troops alongside area surveillance to get it done. But in your case, that was not the situation that we are. And of course, it's nice to have this kind of feedback. So yeah, please proceed from there. So what now happened after days of this whole ordeal in the second camp, essentially?
So after days, it was day 28 or 29. They went for another operation, which was the Iroku Church operation in Kwara State, where they kidnapped 38 church members in a CAC church.
So you are saying this same syndicate were the ones? I think all of us were aware of that news. In fact, that particular church, they were live streaming at the time that this whole thing happened. So it was this same syndicate that went to kidnap people at the church at the time, and they brought all of the victims to your camp. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, I saw them with my eyes. Which men and women, children,
wow. Okay. Please proceed.
So after let me just make the story short because it's quite long. So at the long run, after negotiation and every other thing, I think according to the boy with us, they released the church victims on the 36th day. So according to the boy told us that it was the one state governments that paid their ransom. So they released them to the state government. Then they collected their ransom, which was 350 million allegedly, according to the boy. So that was how they left. They did not
So, but some people might be asking that, how did you know that it was the same victim that was kidnapped from the church? Did you have a little conversation with these victims when they mixed you guys together? And how were they able to, differentiate you and them? It was not a mix-up situation. Were you indeed allocated spaces to differentiate you people? There was no mistake at all in terms of knowing your own situation is different from their own, such that they were not able to mix you guys up. How were they able to, ensure that level of organized situation?
Okay, so they were, according to me earlier, say they were perfect, they were well organized, they could separate us easily. So they know the victims that was there before, they know the newly brought victims and every other thing. So they were just perfect, they were well organized. So that was what I would think. Concerning your question as well, there was a little closer to me because they mixed up, they told us to, because we were on a playground, so they line us up. There was a little close to me, very, very close to me. So she was one I asked her what happened, where were they kidnapped and every other thing. So she told me that it was late in the evening on Thursday, is it on Thursday or Friday night, when all of a sudden we saw the Fulani terrorists that came to their church. They started shooting. Then some people were unalive. Then some people were kidnapped. Some people were able to escape. So it was the lady that was very close to me that explained everything to me. That was what happened. That it was they were kidnapped at their church in Cincinnati. So that's what I was able to do.
So during this whole negotiation process, was it done in the camp when they were negotiating with when they were negotiating for these other groups that was brought to you? Did you get to have an experience of how the negotiation is being done throughout that process, or it was a different? They were actually, the negotiators of these terrorists were doing all of the negotiation outside the camp.
It was not outside the camp, to be honest, because I could not hear any form of conversation from them.
Okay, so where they kept you guys was just like a prison, so to speak. They did not give you guys a glimpse. They did not give you a glimpse to see how they are doing their negotiation.
Yes.
So which explains the fact that they have a way of leaving that particular location to go negotiate in another location. They have a team. They have separated themselves. They will assign teams to monitor you people, and they will go. The negotiation teams are different.
Give us so that people will be details. Then they have their organs that do go for the negotiation and all the lives.
Okay. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, I think we have Swaz join this live, and Abeyo, do you like to ask any questions? So please make it quick, so that we will not delay our guest. Are you there, Abeyo?
According to what he's saying now,
okay.
I don't understand that there is as employees people that's working for the outside to make it what you call maybe make set for them where to operation and where to negotiate. I think there are some within the community, teach community in Nigeria that is working. Teach society that is working.
That is safe to say. That is a fair point to make, really. But yeah, Swaz, any questions so far so good? Swaz? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, my brother, well done, greetings. I really don't know what to say, but it must have been a very traumatic experience. But something when we were mentioning the ransom you had to pay, if it was 15, that's 1 5, or if it was 50, it was that's your monthly. And
15, 1 5 now, 1 5, 15.
1 5. Okay, then we're looking for another 50 after 1 5.
59 million, yes, another 55, 55.
So they collected 15, 1 5, then they are now asking for 55 more.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow.
I was shocked too.
The other persons who were released, those other those other 9 persons or there who were released, do you have any idea how much to pay?
Yes, some paid 20. A pastor and his wife was kidnapped. They were on their way to a church revival. They paid 20 million. One other victim as well paid 10 million. The next person that paid was the Tiffy boys that paid 4 million, 2 million each. Then a motorcycle was collected. So that was how everyone got the ransom.
Well, so there was at least the 100 million that was collected from that yourself, that person.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so I just want to assume that most of this money goes to accommodation and maybe other things. Then, from your own opinion, this will be the last question. In your opinion, when the fighter jets went through, right, and said they ran away, do you think it would have been possible if the military actually combed the bush, they had men on ground while doing the fighter jets? Do you think that it would have been possible to rescue you guys at that point when they ran away? If they had men on ground also that shot the fighter?
That question is somehow serious because I don't know, honestly. But they don't have men on ground. It was just through air. They don't have men.
How fast did the jet go by? Was it like a zoom pass or it hovered around, returned, like it was cycling, like it had a target, or it just went by and just shot through?
It keeps cycling. It moves, then come back again. It keeps cycling at the location.
Okay. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Swaz. Well, we still have the honor of having our guest for at least 15 more minutes. So if you have a question, this is the window for you to indeed pick up the mic and ask a question now, because we are moving to the twilight stage of the interview. So what we are dealing with now is that there was no containment strategy in place, despite the fact that this particular working place, the workplace of this our brother, that is supposed to be manned by several security units, these insurgents were able to gain penetration and able to kidnap our brother alongside a worker that they indeed shot dead while our brother was looking on. All right, it was a real trauma. But well, these guys means business and they are making demands of outrageous amounts of money. And so far, so good. During the course of this whole ordeal, to keep the line of communication open, and they indeed had to make allowance or perhaps make provision for the funds and the items that were, hacked by these people. After they have given them what they want, they indeed went further to ask more money. It was in the process of them asking for more money that they took him to a different group. Hence, his ability to have the privilege of having, these other victims brought to their camp. This victim of the church incident that happened, I believe many of us are aware of that church incident. We saw how our reporters, reported it. So he was able to have the experience of, all of the people that were kidnapped, alongside a pastor and his wife going to a prayer session, which is very, very much interesting too, that they also have to pay ransom. All right. And well, if you are able to get to know about this story in details in some other interview, the pastor was also shot, I understand. Isn't that is that correct, our guest? Are you there? Yes. The pastor was shot. Okay. And of course, they had to indeed force him to walk despite being shot, right? Pointing to the fact that these guys are very, very ruthless.
So the woman later when she got out, then I was able to reach out to her. So at the long run, the woman said the pastor leg has been popped.
Imagine. So okay, but now a very important question also for me to have, because I also have the privilege of watching your previous interview. You said these guys have access to internet and there's a particular line that they usually use. Can you afford our audience that part of the information?
Yes, they have access to internet. Most of the time, they don't give me their phone to install WhatsApp for them, then install TikTok for them, then download music for them to feel like it. Then
so meaning that it is not actually a rumor that this guy used to have live video sessions on TikTok.
no, it's true.
It is actually factual. So, and of course, to people that okay. So, but Glow is the most effective for them in that particular forest. So, meaning that if the Nigerian government wants to use geolocation, because there's a thing called geolocation, where they can use your internet to trace you. We have had cases whereby the Nigerian government have used the same tool to indeed trace the location of critics, and they are able to get them in real time. So if they want to use that same, that same facility, they will have explored that option based on the fact that these guys use the internet. But well, let's move on with the story. Yeah, I want you to just move towards the end of how you got out. How did you get out of this situation eventually? Oh, Mr. Salisu, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm trying to just have because so that before he reach the end, because I see his time is quite well spent. Sorry, I'm trying to understand how these people, for your duration of more than less the period you have spent with them, how do you understand their mode of intelligence gathering and intelligence operation, and how they get their supplies? Because that thing keep bothering me, because in terms of their operation is they are very smart, they are very organized, so they must have a strong intelligence unit that is gathering and making sure that their supply is always efficient. Because along the line, if they don't have enough supply, there maybe the armament, this ammunition they have, all their arsenals may have got they must have exhausted. So how do they get their supplies? And then do you notice any kind of synergy, any kind of collaboration between them and the security? Because if you look at it, the security not functioning effectively at the time they picked you up, your farmland that you said that you have security within the farmland, and then they were able to penetrate and come and pick you and your other colleague. So is there any kind of, do you notice some kind of synergy that maybe, and then also based on previous interviews with other people that I have noticed and I have learned from it, when they kill people, how do they do with the dead body? So that when you are rounding up, I think you can just sum it up.
Yeah, did you get that? Guess?
Yes, sir. What question?
Yes,
Okay,
proceed.
the first
Proceed.
question is just like the first question is just how do you understand their intelligence gathering? How do they
Yeah,
go about doing it?
you got
Because
it.
their operation is very
You got the
smart.
question. You got the question. Yeah. Yeah, please proceed. Yes.
So first and foremost, I did not notice any form of communication between them and the security, the Nigerian security. Let them put that way. So I didn't get because most time I don't understand their language. They don't speak either Hausa nor Fulani. So there's language barrier between us. So I don't understand their language very well, except the one about the other victims do interpret to me at times. So there's language barrier. I don't understand their mode of communication. I don't understand what they speak on course. Because most times they are always on course for hours. They don't speak on course, then talk to different people, which I don't know. But there's something I observed in that forest. There is always a strange person coming there once or twice a week. Once this person is around, they always blindfold us. They always on blindfolded with these clothes. They'll just make sure we're always on blindfolded. They told us not to. They don't tell us not to talk. They don't call this person Babangida. That person do come once or twice a week. So I think that's the person. So when this person come, they don't come alongside with other people. So according to their communication and according to what the other victims do tell me. So I think that's the people that do supply them the ammunitions and every other things that they need. Maybe in terms of foodstuffs and every other thing. And bullets, maybe every other thing, maybe drink and all the likes. And most times they themselves do go out. They do go out. I don't know where they do go to. Maybe outside or deep inside the forest again. I don't know. But they do go out at times, brought in some items, then do a lot of transactions, which I don't really know. So that is how it is.
Wow, interesting. That is very, very interesting because as the Yoruba person that you are, the reason why there's this suspicion is the fact that Yoruba has a proverb that "Tikuli oba padi to di odiru nipa." That is, if there is no insider information, an external thief would not be able to gain access to you and steal from you. So there is indeed a possibility of this synergy, all right? And you have also said throughout your story that there is obvious interaction with the outside world, and there are occasions where they will go and freshen up, take their haircut, bath, and all of these things. And the fact that they were able to operate motorcycles, and motorcycles that they are using is not electric; it is indeed powered by gasoline. So the fact that they are having access to petrol, it means that they are having supplies, and of course, there is indeed a very organized. We are dealing with organized crime, yeah. So, and of course, when it comes to organized crime, there is always an element of the cooperation of the state actors. So yes, proceed with your story. How you got out, really? Yeah.
Okay, so after the 38, most of them have left. So it was remaining this guy called Farouk. Then the boy, one other terrorist. So the guy named Farouk came to meet me. That manager, you won't go outside. I said yes, okay, I won't go out. Then he gave me a small phone to call my mom. That if my mom is able to bring 2 million naira, that is going to release me the next day. Then I said no problem. Then I called my mom. That mom, this is the latest this is the latest update on ground. That this guy said he's going to release me on the second day if we bring 2 million naira. My mom said we don't have 2 million naira now. That she's just going. She will try her best to gather the money up. So then my mom laid emphasis on are they going to release me I said, good. I said, I don't know that. We should try our best again. Then my mom promised them that, I think that was on Monday or Tuesday of that week. Maybe they called my mom. So my mom said on Friday that she's going to gather the money. She will try her best to gather up the 2 million naira they were requesting for. So fast forward to that Friday, the terrorist guy came back again. Then gave me a small phone to call my mom. Then I called my mom that how far about the 2 million naira. Then my mom said she was able to borrow the money from a cooperative. Then my mom said where she bring the money to. The terrorist guy said he has gotten a POS account number, a POS agent account number that we should not stress ourselves on bringing the money down to their side. Then he gave me his small phone. Then I forwarded the account number to my mom. So about 2 or an hour later, my mom made the transfer. Then my mom put back that she has transferred the 2 million naira, which I posted the receipt on my page as well. You can search for the receipt, a Money Point account. So Shehu Abubakar, that's the name of the account. Then my mom made the transfer. Then he called immediately in my present. He called the POS agent that has they received the money. Then the POS agent said he has received the money. Then they left, 2 of them left, leaving us with the errand boy. They left in that morning. It was around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. So they left. It was late in the night before they came back. So when they came back, they told me that, manager, I don't collect your money. You said tomorrow you will go out. So I was a bit happy that thank God I'm going home tomorrow morning. Then the other babas, the other victims and the other outside guys are already worried that manager, you will leave this for year and all that thing. I said, God will see them through as well. Not knowing I'm deceiving myself. So come the following morning, it was on Saturday. I did not see this guy. I said, God, this guy is meant to take me home today. Now what's going on again? I was unable to see this guy. See you in the evening. It was late in the evening on that Saturday. Then he came around. He called the errand boy because we kept on him. He called the errand boy downstairs. The errand boy came to go to meet him. Then they were discussing. I don't know what they were discussing about. But at the end of the day, when the errand boy came back, he told us that he was giving 15,000 naira out of the 2 million naira he collected. So that was when the errand boy got angry that he's no longer working with them again and he wants to go back to his father's house. Because when we were at that time, his younger brother, the errand boy younger brother, who came to our side to give him this Fulani Nunu, this breast milk. So this guy do come to give him. So he said his father's house is not far from the area. So that was how he left on Sunday. So we begged him, then we waited till Sunday evening. Then he left on Sunday evening. So that was how the guy left. He dropped the key, he dropped every other thing. This Farouk guy did not come to pick me up again on that Sunday evening. Then he dropped the key and every other thing. And he only left with his gun. Because the guy was on pump action. So he only left with his gun, then he dropped the key, torchlight, and every other thing. So that was how he left. Then we observed for about two to an hour or less than, because I could not get the time exactly. We observed, then I told Baba, this is a big chance for us to escape. This guy has left. We didn't see anybody, we didn't see anyone around. Baba said, yes, this is a big opportunity for us. Then we told the other third guy, the outside guy as well. He said, no problem, that we should escape together. So we struggled to pick up the key because it was not far from where we are. So we struggled to pick up the key. We unlock ourselves, the chain on our leg, then the ankle. We unlock ourselves, then we ran to the opposite side where they didn't pass. So we ran inside the forest. That was how we began to run. Where we were able to run, where we were able to trek. till Monday morning. Non-stop movement. Trekking till Monday morning. It was that. Fortunately and luckily for us, there was a full moon that night. So there was a full moon. So it was true with the direction of the moon. So with the direction of the moon that we kept trekking inside the forest. So it was early in the morning, the moon disappeared, so we were unable to see again. So we rested under a tree that we saw till the day gets break. So when it's getting break early in the morning, on Monday morning, we continue the movement again, barefooted. So any river we came across, we drink the water. No food, nothing. So that was how we kept trekking till Monday evening. Monday evening again, we didn't touch any place. We didn't come across anyone on the road, except some cows that we saw from distance. We kept trekking till Monday evening. We got to find still inside the forest. I said, God. I told Baba, are we not going to regret that we escaped from this bandit side?
Yeah, just for me to come in there, because that is also the reason why we are aware. We can say authoritatively that there was no any form of surveillance patrolling, because if there were surveillance patrolling, they would have cited you guys. They would have cited you, and of course, you wouldn't have walked that long after you have even freed yourself. Because ordinarily, even after freeing yourself, I want to assume that at that point, you guys are weak. You guys are exposed to the elements. There was even a possibility of being attacked by wild animals. There were many opportunities of being re-kidnapped again. That was another possibility. But there was no any form of surveillance patrolling. So please proceed. So how did you find civilization, or perhaps get or bust into a village or a hut, or meet someone that is not really affiliated with this kidnapper? So how did you guys get out of the forest, really? Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I said, no, now that we have established that there was no any form of patrol, I said, how did you now break even, or get out of the forest, really?
So till Tuesday morning, the next day, we have choice. If we stay here, we might die of hunger, or fall victim of any other circumstances again. So we get a stick for the Baba to walk with. So that was how we continued the movements that morning. So we get to the river, then
Yeah, we are losing connection with our guests, and well, I think we are nearing the last stage of. We are indeed losing connection with our guests, and well, we are nearing the last part of the story. But well, I want to check again. Terrorist survival, are you there?
yes, sir.
Yeah, we are. You said you gave the Baba a walking stick to walk. That was the last thing we heard from you. Yes, your network. Yeah, but we understand. Please proceed.
So that was how we proceeded into with the movement. So the Baba said it was weak, so we get in the walking stick, then we continue. That Tuesday morning. So we were really tired. We could not walk fast again. So we were just going slow and steady. So we got to a river, then we saw the river, choosing the big river. Then we drank from the river, wash our face, then we cross the river, then we continue with the movement. So we get to a certain place where we were trekking. We get to a very big farmland. It was plantation farm. So along the farm,
I think we lost our guest again to network. Okay, okay, please proceed. We have you back now. Please continue. Yes, yes, we lost you for like 5 seconds, but please proceed.
So we saw a pathway of motorcycle at the farm land. So then I told the Baba and the outside guy that this place will definitely lead to a location, either to a farm or to a house. Then we agree with each other, then we follow the pathway of the motorcycle. So luckily for us, we met some people at their farm, the Hausa man and his children. They were cooking beans under a tree. So it was a beans plantation farm. So it was during harvesting period as well. So they were harvesting their beans. So they were cooking, some were cooking, some were working. So when on getting there, they told us who are we there. We knelt down and begged them that Baba, please, we were kidnapped then, we were looking to escape. So that we found ourselves in your farm that other place help us. Then Baba agreed, then he gave us food to eat, then gave us water. So he told us to relax. That was when he called his son to bring motorcycle from the nearest town. Then the nearest village to his family is Sanwesa in Kogi State. I said, thank God. Then the Baba called his son, then not quite long. His son came with a Bajaj motorcycle. Then he took the three of us to the village, Sanwesa. So on getting there, the villagers.
So yeah, talking about the location of where you eventually got to, where were you kidnapped again? And of course, what is the distance between where you were kidnapped? Have you been able to make that evaluation? How many kilometers did you think you have walked, or you have indeed been in the forest? You know, was it very far from where you were kidnapped?
It was very far. I was kidnapped in Ekiti State. Then we ended up at Kogi State. It's a very long distance.
Wow.
I was unable to get the kilometer per state, but it's a very long distance. Very,
Wow.
very long.
Wow.
When the military vehicle took us from Isanresa to Egbe, from Egbe to Ado-Ekiti that day, we spent the whole day. You know the way these military vehicles do move very fast. We spent almost 12 hours on the road from Kogi State.
So it was when you get to Kogi State that the Nigerian military got involved in your case again after you have indeed rescued yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So they were the one that moved you from after you have gained freedom into a local village. They are the ones that moved you to Ekiti State back again.
Yes, to RSS office, their police station there. So that was how they handed me over to the Nigerian police. Then they took reports. Then I called my mom. That was the first thing I did when I get to that village. Luckily for us, there was army base in that village. So I called my mom at first that, Mom, thank God I have finally escaped after 42 days in the wilderness. So my mom was very happy then. I told her that she should meet us at Ado-Ekiti that day. So when we get there, we met at Ado-Ekiti RS police station. So that was when they wrote statements for the three of us. So they handed me over to my mom. They made a video. They slapped us. Then that was how we eventually escaped. So the saddest part of the story is that my boss, YSG, she posted it on the manager's group because I was able to get the information from one of the managers. It was a state government that released me. I was like, it's state government released me. That we should thank a state government that it was a state government that released me. I was sure that is this woman crazy? Till today, I haven't heard from that woman or not a state government, and she's claiming a state government released me. So since then, we have been struggling with debts and every other thing. So I pray Nigeria should not happen to anyone. Thank you. God bless you, Movement Radio.
Thank you very much indeed for sharing your story with us today. and your story was quite touching and is a classic case, as you have said in your remarks, the classic case of Nigeria happening to people. And it's a very clear case of systemic rot and systemic failure, obviously, based on this experience. But well, I'll pass the mic back to the Movement Radio, Chicago. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Terrorist Survivor. You did a great job. We know you've suffered a lot of emotional, psychological, and financial loss. Any one of our audience that are listening that can help him out, please get in touch with him from the X page on the Movement Radio and assist him and his family. They went through a great loss. But that tragedy of this story is that this man's story is what should be the headline, is what Nigerians should hear when they wake up in the morning. Not some governor story, not some president story, not some ruiner story. It's because we don't have a press. That is why those of us here on the Movement Radio are taking it upon ourselves to provide the required press that our people need, the journalism that our people need to hear their story. One thing is a fact, nobody is coming to rescue us. We have to rescue ourselves. And this situation where our country has become a weapon fashioned against us is not something that is either sustainable or we should strive to keep. We cannot keep this status quo. That is why we are getting involved, and we are urging everyone to get involved. It will be easy for you to get involved. If you're hearing of us for the first time, please click on the Movement Radio, subscribe or link, join us. Come and hear your view. It's when your stories are out there that we can defeat this collective silence that is bedeviling our nation. This collective silence that we are all going through. Now, this collective silence, we analyze our problem to be just threefold. Collective silence, enemies within, and the ruiners. The ruiners will continue to sit on the throne of their crown if we don't deal with the first two. We don't end the collective silence and we don't identify. Continue to have a field day because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And here well, if you're hearing of us for the first time, please join us. What we do at the following. I'll give you a quick rundown of who we are. The Movement Radio is an initiative aimed at addressing the Nigerian seat-rooted problem. That's all we are here for. We believe there are three: collective silence, enemies within, and the ruiners. Those are the three problems. Every other thing, like religion, tribalism, terrorism, corruption, are just symptoms of these three key facts. Now, the Nigerian problem, as it is now, is the fact that we are in a bondage of democracy because we don't have democracy. What we have is a system of a permanent coup d'etat by a ruling elite against the masses, and the masses cheering them along in their own destruction. That is the state of what we have, and we are encouraging it and continuing it by our appeasement and silence. By the way, appeasement and silence has been the history of this country. The history of this country has always been to appease evil and to be complicit by silence among the public and the elite and those who know or should know. So the elites, those who to school are educated with letters in front of name, have failed that nation. From 1960, we're talking of 65 years of solid failure. It don't matter what their profession is. They might be journalists, religious leaders, academics, lawyers, judges, teachers, doctors, nurses. They have failed that country. And if that failure continue, future generations and future children yet on board will be born into a world where they will be bottom feeders. They will be slaves to their colleague in the rest of the world. The world is changing, and we have a world where people are building cars and bicycles that can fly. And here we are still talking about akara and kuli. So we intend to use this social media forum to start effecting the change, right? Bringing lights to this darkness by challenging the current dispensation, by identifying and castigating enemies within us, exposing them on, and show you how they perpetuate knowingly or unknowingly support the status quo. Notice we are not saying we're going after the ruiners. We will leave the big wings to go after the ruiners, but we are going about the little ones, every ordinary person that looks like just you and me, that is assisting the system to continue. You see, we want you to reject the mainstream media because they are voices of the oppressor, which is why we are creating this alternative media and forming a movement. Our core mission is truth, justice, and love. We want our people to have full citizenship in their own father's land. We cannot be running away from our country as a solution to survival. It is insane for you to leave what God has given you and run to another man's land and say you are successful. That is not success. So we want to fight for full right citizenship. We want equity, justice, and the implementation of the rule of law, not the criminal gang up that has overtaken that country now, where criminals are in charge. People who should be locked up in an asylum are running the country. And that is the situation. We want to bring the voice of the people out. We are calling you to action. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere. Partake in the conversation, whatever you can do. If you don't do it, your children and children would ask you, what did you do during your own time? And the time is running out. This is a time of emergency, a state of emergency, where silence in itself is complicit in the crime of the ruiner. It is not enough for you to be pointing fingers at Tinubu. When you point a finger at Tinubu, 4 other fingers are pointing back at you. Tinubu is not the problem. Tinubu is a symptom of the problem. You take him out today or you remove them today, that problem will still be there and it will still persist. This is our own position. We thank you all, those who are able to join us. We want to thank the terrorist survivor for taking his time out to come tell his story to the Nigerian people. This is essential that they hear how this country has become a weapon against its own people. It's important we say these things. We still have a lot of things lined up, but we're thinking this has been a long session. A lot of people might need a break. Some might still want to continue talking. We have a series of topics we have outlined. For me, I would suggest we probably take a 1 hour or 30 minute music break before we continue with the articles of important Nigerians, people like Zainab Suleiman, who are writing on key things people should hear, not the regurgitation of the elite's position. That's what Arise gives you. That's what the channels gives you. That's what LTV gives you. That's what NTA gives you. It's nothing but the regurgitation of what Wike said, what Tinubu said, what Tinubu did, what Obi did. These are nothing but regurgitation of the ruiners. And that's a fact. So we want to continue. We still got things we want to cover today before the day runs out. We want to cover the article by Farida Beriba Noberema. She's an intelligent young lady, 36-year-old intellect from Togo. What she says about how we became complicit in this crime, the politics of economic obedience. That's what she calls it. We still want to talk about that. We've got the IMF versus Nigeria, the people's hardship, the real cost of conformity. We've got all these things lined up. And we want you to always join us. Help us spread the message. Share us. Tell people about us. Let them know about us. We want a change. And we want to do it by revolutionizing the mind, equipping the people, changing the narrative, so that when the people know what is right for them, they will stand up for themselves. Our dying culture is dying, and we have to rescue it. Thank you all for listening. And I don't know, Abdullahi is there. He has something to say, and Ibukuntu has something to say. But that's all I've got. And I thank you all for joining us, whoever joined us. I don't know if this is the last. That depends on Ibukun and Salisu, what they decide. So if we should continue with our articles or just take a little break or whatever they decide. The terrorist survivor, again, thank you very much. We couldn't say thank you enough for coming. God bless you. God bless your Family, we hope God will be able to remunerate the losses you've had in the hands of these terrorists. All these people from our government, they are the biggest terrorists. They are the terrorists. And if you don't stand up to a bully will continue to bully you. We've been bullied since the coming of the white man. 450 years we've been bullied, and they've passed on the baton, the relay baton, to people who look like us, but they are not us. All kin foes are not same foes. They might be black, but they are not us. They work to manage the plantation farm, and we are trying to tell them that our father's land is not a plantation farm. We have no slaves. Fella have said it. You have been slaves long ago. They have released us now, but we have not released ourselves. Thank you all for hearing me out. Iboko. Iboko, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, the Movement Radio Chicago. Thank you very much. We appreciate that very well detailed submission, and it's quite important to discuss. Mr. Terrorist Survival, nice and a privilege to have you on Movement Radio today. Thank you so much. And of course, to all our audience, once again, we are telling you that now that we have exposed the system, let us now carry out the collective intervention, all right, that we can do towards Mr. Terrorist Survival by showing him so much love and his family. Obviously, we can see that so much as when they have spent a great deal of resources, and based on the feedback that we're getting from him, they are still indeed in debt. They are still very much in debt. And the system has left them vulnerable. The system has left them vulnerable. In fact, it was true, if not for the fact that they were quite proactive, they indeed have to step in and make their own private arrangement. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this gentleman join us today. But well, let us reach out to him. This is his account on X. His DM is open. Reach out to him and bless him. And do not even think that a particular assistant is not enough, or just a very small. It's not small. Nothing is indeed small if it's coming from a place of solidarity. If you want to stand in solidarity with this gentleman and what he has went through in the hands of the terrorists, reach out to him, and of course, do the needful. Because we are African people, we have this spirit of Ubuntu spirit of standing by each other in times of need. We will keep exposing the system. But what makes us different from those that are indeed just, focused on intervention, the interventionist approach? And I don't have to go into names. Those that have indeed want to, make profit from the ordeal of the people. All right, we do not want to do that. We only focus is that we deal with the system, expose the system, revolutionize the minds of the people. And of course, the people should, while they are trying to resist the system, stand in solidarity with one another. And in this case, it is Mr. Terrorist Survival. Please reach out to him and of course, do the needful. No matter how small the help might be, please do the needful. And of course, we want to let you go now because from this side of things, it is 5 minutes gone past the hour of 10 p.m. It is nearing the wee hours of the day. And of course, we appreciate the time that you have spent with us today, Terrorist Survivor. Any last statement or any last remark as you leave us to continue the program?
I just want to use this medium to appreciate everyone that listening to Movement Radio this evening. Then special thanks to Movement Radio. God bless you. God bless your station. Thank you for allowing me to share my audience to the world. Thank you. God bless you all. I really appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So yeah, you're free to go. Thank you so much. I can see Abiyo, I can see your hand. Please proceed with your submission. Abiyo, are you there? Yes.
Please, you have to want Movement Radio to expose this Ekiti woman that lies upon him that is Ekiti government that rescue this guy. Want that woman to be exposed. Please, I don't know how we can do it. Maybe we should work with on TPI, everybody can work together and able to expose that woman. And what do you think of?
Yes, I think many pressure groups would take that up. Our own job really as a media organization is to indeed expose this reality. All right. There are other platforms such as Sahara Reporters and other media organizations that will indeed pressure, and there are civil society organizations also whose job it is to indeed get to the root of this. You also have Seraph and Amnesty International. There are many organizations like that their own job, after we have exposed this reality that the mainstream media has refused to expose, really, which is the space that we are trying to fill. Their own job is to pressure and make do with this information, doing the necessary thing, to indeed pressure this. Of course, we are already aware from our lived experience that no matter the pressure that you are going to pressure these guys, when you are dealing with a system such as the one that we have in Nigeria, it will have to take a revolution, all right, to indeed get rid of the rot in the system. Because even through the story that we have heard so far from terrorist survival, we can indeed smell a rat. We can indeed, dot the I, cross the T's, and put two and two together. That there is indeed some sort of synergy based on what Mr. Blaya have said. The footprint is written all over the story. That these guys are not operating, in isolation. All right. So we would have to do what we have to do, and part of what we have to do is what we are doing right now to expose the story, bringing terrorist survivor to share his experience is not easy. I can tell you that for free, and that is all I can tell you. It is not going to. It takes so much effort. So now that we have brought terrorist survivor, and he has explained his experience in detail, and we have even helped him deal with the granular details of it to expose the fact that this is a systemic problem. And when you are dealing with systemic problem, you are dealing with powers that be. You are dealing with the top echelons of institutions. You are dealing with political entities who are supposed to do the right thing, but they are doing the wrong thing regardless. You are dealing with those that have the authority to prosecute terrorist financiers, because the Dubai government has indeed submitted the list of terrorist financiers to the Nigerian government. They did nothing about it. So you can imagine a country helping the Nigerian government do most of the heavy lifting of revealing the financiers. Yet they decide not to do the right thing. So this is what we are dealing with, Abeyo. And I believe we have done our own, part of the job. All right. It is left for the Nigerian people to make use of this information, all right, to indeed solve this collective problem. All right. So that is just what I would say about it. Thank you so much once again, terrorist survivor.
Thank you. I think,
yeah, okay.
I also think that.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay. I think also asking us to have a way of punishing. The woman is also an agent. He's an agent. So we have to, if we are going to address and punish the system in itself, and we cannot do it as movement radio or Sahara reporters or any other institution. It's we the people, because what happens an injustice to one is an injustice to all. What happened to this person might happen to me, might happen to you. So we can all work collectively. We should not identify individual and say we are going to punish them. That's what movement radio is trying to inform and trying to make people understand that it's not an individual issue, it's a systemic problem. So those individuals that are representing the system, we should not just victimize them. Yes, Yes, she might be working with the system and encouraging the system to work. But us in our own way also pushing, okay, let this person do it is also a way of saying that okay, we cannot make ourselves ready to work. So the also we can also partner with, maybe when you talk with this terrorist survivor directly, you have a way, or you also you can amplify the message. As Movement Radio brought him here, you share the message, you let other people know that these issues are happening in Nigeria. So they say information is power. When many as possible know the information, so we'll be able to what connect and have like minds. So then we'll be able to change the system. So that's my take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much indeed. Movement Radio Chicago, your mic is off. Please put it on. Your mic is muted. So I
Are
think
we shutting? Hello? Are we shutting down temporarily? Do 30-minute music, or do our audience want us to continue, or we take a break, 30-minute music break, and then pick up later? I know it's late over there in
yeah,
Africa where you all are.
it's very
So
late.
you all make the call. Whatever you decide. All I know is that once we end, I'm gonna play music for like 30 minutes or an hour. So anybody who
Yes,
wants to enjoy our good music can stay behind.
yes.
We can't call
So I'm
ourselves
going
a radio and not put music into it.
absolutely. So at this point in time, we are moving into the music break. But well, we are done with the major highlights of this program. Today's bulletin is the source of radio. Yeah. If you are very much interested in music, go join the video section. But for now, from the X platform, I think we have to shut down from that sort of thing. Yeah. So, but if we are still very much on the other platforms, if you are very much interested, thank you so very
Also,
much.
the music section would not be on Facebook and YouTube.
Thank you so much. I think terrorist survivor. Do you want to say something? I can see your hand. Okay, you are trying to clap. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. You're free to leave. And of course, to our audience on X, thank you so much for your audience. Please remember to follow Movement Radio. And of course, there are other areas where you can engage with us on YouTube. Even on X, there's a video section going on. So if you are very much, if you are a lover of music, that is also going to continue from that side of things. So thank you so very much. See you next time for another fresh edition. Thank you.